Yeah, yeah, that's all on crooked. I just had I just had my port accessed. Oh, that's the pencil's name. Yeah. I won't take it off. We'll just leave it right there. Yeah, I just had my port accessed, so it for tomorrow. So it's Sunday evening, and I'm still in the hospital in Allsville. Obviously, I'm not worthy to be here, because I'm not dying. That's what I was told tonight. Um, the nurse that came to be with me this morning, I had an incident last night where I blew my IV line, and the whole idea to have a port is so that they don't do this. And I blew my, it just blew because my veins are old and they're chemoed. So I wear this wristband that tells anyone medical that I have a port. Well, why are you going to tell them if they ain't going to use it? So, but they have a policy in place that only a certified nurse can access a port and put in the line so that they can use it. And tomorrow I need it. So, anyways, I blew the line, and so the nurse at the time went to give me another line, and she stabbed me 4 times before she finally put her arms up and said, I can't, your veins just roll away. They hide. And it was so painful. I couldn't believe she stabbed me 4 times. So then she brings in another nurse who does my wrist, and she put it right here, and it infiltrated and just completely raised up. And in so much pain, we had to put ice pack on it. So it was bad. It looks good now. It looks good in the video. It's just like an arthritic event. So then they used it they said, we'll just use it, you know, for the one time. And it was so severe. By 4 o'clock in the morning, I said, get it off of me. Get it out now. The pain is just too intense. So they pulled it out. But the policy is that every patient, if you're inpatient, must have a line, access line. So then they go and put it in this hand, this arm up here, and it's only have one more IV to go, solution to go in the morning. And by 6 a.m., they put that in. And we're waiting for the one nurse that's available that has the certification to come to work on shift. She comes in and I explain to her, you need to access my port and stop this madness and get this line off my arm. I've been stuck enough. I can't tolerate it anymore. She took it personally, right? She insisted she can't do that sort of thing without a doctor's order. I said, well, just call them, just get the order, you know? So she proceeded to tell me that I had no importance here, that she's dealing with a patient that's dying. And this is at 3 in the afternoon. I waited all day for her to take care of this. I have a dying patient on my hands for 2 hours I've been working with. Well, you know how people like to use guilt to justify their actions or inactions. And I told her flat out, I have no sympathy for someone dying other than myself. And I said, I have requested this all day. And I told her you had no right to say that to me because I do feel sorry that you have a patient that's dying. I really do, because I do have sympathy. And by then she had the doctor's order in her hand. Now she had the doctor's order to come in and tell me this. And I told her, you know, you don't ever do that. Don't ever do that to me again. Try to use that against me. That someone else is more dying than me, like more important, more worthy, you know, based on why I'm here or whatever. So she told me, well, all they had to do in the ER or up here was to get someone from the OR that is certified to come up and help you to do this. So why isn't that so simple? Why would the patient have to go through such a rigmarole to get help from being jabbed and put in excruciating pain? I didn't come here to be put in pain. So it turns out that I get to be discharged now because there is no more IV fluids needed. But what I need to get done is a CT of the chest with contrast, so we need to put the contrast in. And my appointment's on Tuesday over at some imaging center somewhere. It's not even part of this hospital. Maybe it is, and they just use a different facility. But they have a CT here. They've done it here. The first one was done here. So while I'm here, get it done. There's the order for it. The doctor's order is a doctor from here. It's Dr. Gomez from here. The order's there. Take care of it and cancel my appointment. So that was done. And so I'm waiting for them to pick me up tomorrow morning. Well, I don't know. I'll probably last in line now. Probably last in line. And it'll probably be all day. I have to wait all day, sit here all day and watch TV on my butt, feeling good. You know, no, not worthy of being here because I'm not dying enough. And all my meds will be oral, so I get to go home. I don't have to come back. And when they're done doing the scan, the contrast, when they're ready to discharge me, they just go, well, how simple is that? The simplest, safest thing. One stick versus 8 times on my arms. My arms are so sore and bruised and just jabbed to hell. Hell. And I'm laughing at these people that they make absolutely no sense whatsoever to do such a thing. Here's another bloody mess coming up. Good Lord. That was from the girl who stuck me for blood. So turns out that the transfusion worked. My white count went back up. My immunity's in place. It's working. Now I just need to be on antibiotics for what? What happened? I had a urinary tract infection. Yeah, that's what hit me. And it's probably a bacterium that I've been carrying around for a long time. And it just lay dormant inside of me and waited till the moment that it could bloom. And when it does, you have to take care of it. And it's a serious matter. You have to go to the hospital. So it turns out they have two choices. We can either do IV and hang it on the pole thing, or oral antibiotics, specific antibiotic for this particular bacterium, because that it reacts to it. And great. So I said, since you already started doing the IV, do you want me to continue with oncology? And they said, that'd be great. You could go over there every day and get your next round. It'll be 7 to 10 days. Well, they changed their mind. They probably called over there and they said, no, that's too much work for him to keep being carted back and forth every day. Do the And you see, that's totally unfair. So not only did the nurse walk off without doing this, and they brought the OR nurse up the next shift to do it, my goal for today is to find out what was the plan. And no one seems to want to tell me. And they tell me I'm done with antibiotics, but now I've hooked up again with the same method that it won't beep. And it's only a 30-minute session. So if I fall asleep, I'm going to take in a whole bag of saline and no one will come look at me because it ain't going to beep. So I'll be up for the next 30 minutes, which I would have been anyways. And I'm pleased to get it done. And then they're going to give me another antibiotic liquid IV tomorrow morning. And then I'll get my chest CT scan and they can get me out of here. Yeah. So I'm not treated like, what is this guy taking up space for? You know, taking up space. Why is he taking up space? But what a sweet nurse. I just was talking to him about all these different things. He's new to the whole environment, but he did a good job plugging me in. So, and I'll be fine. Today was the number 5 day, the six plus the year, the man or the potential plus time. The potential time placed itself upon the day, which is a spirit. And so, potential of time on a spirit, well, I consider time the father essence. Time is the father essence, whereas space is female. And it's the divine feminine at this point that is the better hand, not the right hand, the better hand. And being in the better place, you want to be on the left hand side. So, anyways, yeah, today's the number 5 day. Isn't that funny? It's irony. It's irony that today is number 5 day. And right at midnight is when all this began. When I blew the line, then it was all these needle stickings and all this nightmarish drama when that's what this is. It's a port. It goes right up over my clavicle and down to reach my heart. So now I'm getting it directly into my system. Yeah, not hurting me. And it's no big deal because now he'll just disconnect and the line will just hang there. I'll put cap on it. It's safe. It's not going to get infected, unlike open wounds all over my arms. And I mean, I still feel it. I still feel the tings in my arms, like someone just had to get the knitting needle out. Stick the baby in the head. It's like, ow, and not accomplish anything from it. So, um, how funny, how funny, funny, funny. I look forward to getting home. Yeah, because I'm worried about my little plants. So I've been gone since Thursday night. Jeff's been watering, so he's been real careful. But he's got to work all day. Yeah, and but at least I got 2 appointments taken care of in one shot, all together. And the doctor that receives the chest CT scan tomorrow, he gets it instantly, and he can actually talk to me before I leave the building if he wants to, comparing the two, the the past and the present. I mean, yeah. So hopefully we'll see good news, and he'll have a better means to making the assessment of how far we're going to go and which direction we go with it, with the immunotherapy and what's required. And then maybe a better measurement of foundational understanding of how a person in my situation should react and respond when I don't know what kind of symptom I'm going to have next. Or when and if something shows up, I would utilize my PCP if it's available. Yeah, and I had to wait until the evening, so its choice was ER. And he said, you made the right choice. Well, what's with this nurse then? And seriously, all you have to do is call down to the OR. Why isn't that part of the policy? That when you're dealing with oncology patients who are already actively a patient of this facility, why are they not being directed to have this worked with rather than all these nurses who are in training who can stick normal sick people, not the pretend ones, the ones that aren't dying? Cracks me up. I can see why she freaked out because I completely had her on the spot. And what, you came off of a weekend. You're going back to work now. You had 3 days off, girl. Get it together. So maybe I sound kind of aristocracy or something like that. I own this place. No, I know her. She's the one. She's the one that when it was installed, she told me all these guidelines. She's the one 4 months ago who told me all these guidelines. And when she came to work this morning, I said, "Hi, Leah. It's good to see you." She didn't recognize me, and she goes, "Oh, you used to have long hair? Oh, I remember you." It's like, girl, forget it. We spent a week together. We did. Uh, but something offended her badly, and so she feels attacked. See, that's how my mother felt. She felt attacked. So all my employers, they always felt attacked. It's like, I'm not attacking you by questioning your unreasonability. How ridiculous. How much safer something is and how much proper something is that you would alleviate the process of let's create more pain. I mean, are you a bunch of little Faucis running around out there? Good Lord, what do you think medicine is? To hurt people? To harm them? If they're not dying? I'm not laughing. I could have stopped and asked someone, tell me if the patient died because it was thrown in my face tonight. That I shouldn't be bothering her because she's been busy for 2 hours with the patient that's dying. She's 2 hours, the last 2 hours of the whole day. So I guess she's not caught up. She had a bad Monday or Sunday. I'm sure she's at home taking a sip. I don't know. Poor girl. But she doesn't hold the divine feminine. No, no, I hold it. The left hand. She tried to use her right hand authority on me. Sounds like someone's coming through my door. Must be next door. Strange. So, anyways, oh, they forgot to write their names down. Josh is my nurse. I'll remember that. But my aide tonight, I don't know. I won't be bothering anybody. No, I had some cookies again. I had snacks. They'll probably bring me some yogurt or something. And I had some baked chips. I had another burger today. That was good. I like the burger. See, I work with hamburgers, but I never think to make hamburgers. It's been so long since I had a hamburger. It's like, wow. And so they put a sign. Oh, that's one thing. They put a sign on my door that no one is allowed to bring me flowers. No one is allowed to bring me any fresh fruit or any fresh vegetables. Because why? Because they're convinced that cancer means that, and chemo means that you are not to have any of those things. But you're talking about people who have colon cancer, stomach cancer, digestive cancer, that sort of thing. I don't understand. I'm a gardener. And that's what she bitched me out all morning over my gardening. No, you just need to give it up until you get better. I didn't get a UTI because of the garden, girl. No. And the bacteria that I've been surrounding myself and working with in my hands would be embedded in me already. And chances are the chemo killed it, or I have an immunity to it. And yeah, my allergies did flare up, and I never had allergies. I never had allergies. I mow the lawn. I can get in the grass. I can get into it, roll in the grass. I'm not one of those people that worry about that sort of thing. And yes, seasonally I might get blocked up, and I have a Vicks. I sniff some Vicks, open up the passages, but nothing extreme. I don't have to reach for over-the-counter medication until now. Yeah, because of the chemo. So everything's because of the chemo. And I assure you that's done, I hope. Hopefully they're not going to change the plan after they see the new right-handed of number 5. Oh yeah, tomorrow's the number 6. So actually I get my chest contrast tomorrow on the 6th, which means on a number 6 day, because it'll be the 10th. Yeah, the way it adds up. Ah, yeah, number 6. So that is fertility. That is moving forward, expansion. Potential is the number 6. Upon time for expansion. Well, maybe that's not so good. But it's movement forward, not downward, not upward. Yeah, it's forward. That it's important that we know our directions. Yeah, north, south, east, and west. But they're also the four winds: earth, air, fire, and water. And um, each has a face. There's the lion, there's the eagle, there's the man, and there's the oxen. Yeah, that's the four winds, the four living creatures. Yeah, and they're also known through color as the four horsemen. Yeah, white, black, red, and pale. Some say green, but it's just pale. It would be like jaundice, wouldn't it? It's like a yellow, pale skin. Yeah, jaundice. Green, I guess. Guess some people say green. So, anyways, what a nightmare. So I totally offended that nurse, and she even said, "Well, I'll make sure that you get a different nurse tomorrow." Why? Because you're busy with the dead people. I don't know who they are, and I have sympathy for people, but why aren't they in ICU? There's a whole ICU to this building. If they're dying, they should be in a critical care situation. And if you're given a whole patient load, then you're just not getting your job done, basically. So I would hope that if I'm in that situation, I would go into ICU like they did in El Paso. Same thing. That's what it's there for. So here I'm bitching and complaining. You know, a person feels good when they're bitching and complaining. Yeah. So I might find a movie, and as soon as this IV is done, I'll call them because it's not on a beeper, so it's not going to disturb the patient. So his horns don't come out. I swear. Yeah, I don't know that guy. It's been a while. No, he's got a trip pretty fast, so maybe 30 minutes. Yeah. And I still haven't slept. I haven't slept all weekend since I got here. Um, I think the first night I got here at 1 o'clock in the morning, we finished up by 4. I was asleep for maybe 2 hours and then up all day. And then by the time that night rolled around, I couldn't sleep and I was full. They call us floor walkers. People can't sleep, they just walk the floor. And they had offered some Atarax, something like that. And I think that's an antipsychotic medication. I really do. To sleep, help you sleep. And I am just not in the mood to be rearranging my RNA DNA strand uh, with antipsychotics. No. And so I mentioned beta blockers, and it just completely over my PCP's head. Yeah, I have the doctor here. And well, she's the head of the family practice. And it just went over. And I said, no, it's true. I said, my head is directly connected to my heart. I am speaking through my heart. And my heart is so emotional, charged in its capacity that the brain cannot sleep, cannot rest. The heart is emotionally charged in conversation and everything. And since I have continual conversation in my head at all times, it doesn't want to shut off. I could lay all night, just think and imagine, and then start dreaming while I'm lucid. which isn't very restful. So I had two really bad dreams last night, and the last one jolted me up so badly. And that's when I was in pain, and that's when I called him and I screamed, and Ron came out, and I don't know that guy. And I told them, "You get that off," and they did. They acted and reacted, and they took it off. But now I'm in violation because didn't have I don't have an ID. So we had to go through the stick, blow, 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 blow. Oh, good Lord, and the support. I keep wondering what they do. They open the door and they reach in and they grab a slip of paper and they sign something else and they slip it back in. This is all new. I've worked in hospice before, but we had clipboards for that. We didn't slip it in the door frame, sort of thing. Whatever it is. I don't care. It's probably a do not disturb sign. Oh, it's so terrible about having my breakfast and lunch and my my dinner come ice cold. Well, not my dinners because I got that. But they had a sign on my door that says permission granted only by way of nurse's station to this room, which was totally unnecessary. That's only when I'm contagious to them, that sort of thing. And when I'm in the situation beyond the blood, we know that I'm not going to catch anything. So no one would come in the room. So they never swept. The housekeeping never came in. They never changed the bedding. Never got the sheets or nothing in the time I've been here. No one wants to come in my room. And when they do, they come in mass and they're all freaking out. And come to find out that's unnecessary. So I had Leah, the one that got upset at me, to take it. I asked her, why is this going on when we know that we have labs? And it only takes 20 minutes to get the results that we know that my blood count is back to normal. So she's, oh, that's not necessary. And well, neither is the thing about the flowers. Forest flowers are perfectly fine. They're not going to hurt the patient. They're not going to give him some kind of boogie. But it's because of the chemo. Well, now we're going into Fauci land. Ah, we are. Now we're going into Fauci land, but we're also dealing with what I know of as temperance, because within temperance, the card in most decks, we realize the yellow flag is the iris, which is poison. Yeah, it's a cautionary tale of pharma to get a false crown for for no apparent reason, while the angel is mixing the concoction to cure you. So it's the malady to cure, or kill you to cure death. Yeah, I get it. So I understand those cards. I understand the tarot as guidance. I do. And it speaks to me. And of course, it reads differently sometimes than the reader's reading because they're intuitively hitting for those individuals that need to receive that message. It should be just as easy to watch the reading and listen and extrapolate from it what you're experiencing through it and realize how it relates to you and your surroundings. Yeah, so it's guidance on a very spiritual level. But of course, I don't play that game with the um, earth, air, fire, and water. I know the respective um, symbols as far as the cup being water, and the air is not the sword. The air is the pentacle, because the air is the air of the inheritance that is in air. That's right. And the fire, yeah, it's not the budded rod. Why would the budded rod be fire? Because Eat it like a steak, like your penis? Well, that's silly. No, the sword. The sword gets annealed before it's worked, and then it's hardened, so it's sharp. Well, because then it's hard, and you sharpen it, and it's two-edged, and it comes out of the mouth as two-edged sword, a flaming sword, fire. It tells you. But instead they go, no, it's the budded rod, it's the wand. Fire's the wand. So all the wands of all the decks of tarot are suddenly confused. And all the swords of tarot, of astrology, are confused within context of tarot and astrology, of course, as to what their placement is, north, south, east, or west. And so then the budded rod should be with the earth, who had the coin that needed to throw it up because it doesn't need it. It's for the inheritor, the heir. And the whole time the cup runneth over. Well, why is the cup running over? Well, because the cup is responsible for all these things to go forward, to switch these keys at birth so that no man can open those gates and those doors to that higher realm, that heavenly realm. You can't just walk into heaven, but we could, certainly. So, and by knowing these things, we recognize the fact that the water as cup is actually the ox. Yeah, it's a water animal, the oxen and the water buffalo. And the air is the eagle, of course. And the fire is man, because man is the one that plays with fire. And the earth is the lion, yeah, of Judah, of course, which is the kings and ultimately kings and priests among them. Yeah, because not all the water is good to do such a thing. I'm a water sign. I'm a water with Aquarius rising and Scorpio moon. So Scorpio or water, air, water. Yeah, so I'm fixed in that capacity. But Venus, my knees, is in Sag. Thinking, my tummy? My tummy is must be Aries, Jupiter. Yeah. So I have to start memorizing my placements to make more sense of the soul body, because each of us has a relationship, yeah, with that which we were born with and that which we carry innately that is ours. I'm sure there's another Ron Haskell that was born on my birthday, exactly, and is completely different than I am for their purpose. Yeah, but in light of that, I think I could probably find some uh, possibilities to where they were called, but they weren't chosen. They didn't step up. Yeah, they didn't grab a hold of it. Or maybe they did it one time and they put it away. They said, this is nonsense. It's not making sense. Well, it's universal consciousness that can manifest versus the individual under such a situation where the keys are switched on you. And this is very important to understand. So we accept the keys that's being utilized for the sake of the water, because as that water, that cup runneth over, we literally gonna be walking on water. See, he said we'd be doing greater things than he. We'd be walking on that water. So there's three unclean. Yeah, well, they're unclean for a reason, aren't they? Can you see how they're unclean? The beast, and then the false prophet, and the dragon. He's a red dragon, isn't he? He's not a blue dragon. Yeah. So, anyways, in light of that, have a very safe tribulation. I'll be home before I know it. And it's going to be quiet without the pups. Yeah. And, but there's the kittens. And then getting the house back in order and hopefully get my strength back, get back to my routine, but not just a routine. I need to get back to fixing some things, like the gate, the fence, this and that, and get it settled and get myself back on my feet. And I don't know when SSI is going to come around, but old Biden, I heard a joke. Joke said something. Did you hear about Biden? And I went, no. But, hey, that was my nurse again, Josh. He took me off telemetry. There's no reason for me to be on telemetry. That's where in this pocket there was this big, heavy, um, probably EM creation machine, creates EM waves, and it hooks up to my heart, keeps me monitored remotely. So it's sending, information remotely through EM, electronic, whatever, EM waves. Anyways, he took it off. There's no reason. He discontinued it. Yeah, I asked him to do that because I've been wanting. I asked the nurse in the last shift to do that, the one that left. She left me high and dry. I don't know what it was. Her Monday. It was her Monday. She didn't need to hear from me. She didn't. I'm sorry I'm not sick. I'm sorry I'm here just having a vacation. No, that was very painful. 2 days in bed at home and the kind of pain that ran through me. It wrecked me. Now, why I didn't reach for Tylenol at home, I don't know. But that probably would have probably relieved me enough to make it to what the next day to call my PCP or walk in and do a walk in. I don't know because I didn't recognize it as that. I thought it was virus. I didn't know, well, bacteria. But anyways, I did the right thing. And sometimes the things that I say is only because they were put in me through those who say it, and then they contradict themselves. And when they do that, they set themselves up to be hypocritical. I mean, if you're the only one on the floor that has the license to do such a thing, then step up. When you were the one that talked to me about it in the first place. I know I could lecture all day, couldn't I? See, this is why I don't sleep. So I haven't slept at all. So last night I only got, after that, when it jolted me awake, I had only slept for 2 hours. And that's when I was just living. And then I couldn't sleep all day. And when the nurse came in, she knew all these complaints. But my complaints were not important enough. We didn't want to address any of that. No, here's your meds and leave me alone. You're one of those patients I don't deal with. Why? Because you're not dying. That's too sweet. I should go get one of those compliment your nurse cards. They have those, They have a little form you can fill out to thank your nurse. I should thank her for that and drop it in there. Yeah. But she wouldn't read it. Uh, it would then go to the head honcho, someone doing something. I don't know, someone that does their PR, and they would probably go, oh. But then they would just say, oh, here's another abusive one. Those cancer people. Those ones that aren't dying. Yeah, okay, cool. Cool by me. I mean, I'm always going to be considered to have it, even if it's in remission. And at any time, something that could trigger it. And we're dealing with GMOs. We already know what it's doing to animals. So we already know what Fauci set up with the dog kennels and the sick nature of that man, and the sick nature of this administration is beyond. Oh, I was going to tell you the joke. That's when I had to pause it. So I think I said it already, did I? Did you hear about Biden? Yeah, yeah. What's that? How my brain slipped. He couldn't get over Putin. Yeah, he's all farting. Oh, pedo fart. Yeah, pedo fart fart. Sick family. Yeah, it seems Jill's running the country. She was the babysitter to the children. What a sick, sick puppy. Good Lord. How bad can it get? How bad can it get? This nation, this pedo nation thing has to stop. And the sad thing is, like what I told the nurse today, the one that stormed off on me, left me high and dry. Um, Cancer rates are going up, always. And so these procedural methods that we're talking about, these need to be in place. We need to have the measurement of oncology to family practice in the hospital being connected on one computer system is a good thing. So you all get your information at the same time. And those who have the right to see, see. So, anyways, sorry, I get on rants. This, this, and this is connected directly. Yeah, and so where do they put the EM creator? Right here next to your heart. I'm just gonna say this. Oh, it's minimal voltage. Yeah, I'm sure it is. But there are sensitives in this world. Just like getting into a CAT scan, big magnet, what it does to you. Yeah. So, anyways, I look forward to being back in my garden again, just for a little while, and hopefully hear from the SSI and get on some kind of assistance, and food stamps or otherwise, and find a job. And then from there, then I'll seek housing where I have income, so I can move it around and have a productive life if that's what it takes. And I have confidence. Five also is change, as it is freedom. It's the traveler's number. Yeah, well, it's just the day. Yeah. Death and freedom, right? That's what happened. Yeah, I guess that's what I'll name this video, Death and Freedom. And freedom is but death to the soul, or is it death just freedom for the soul? The soul is the body, the soul body, but that's the greater body still. Yeah, that's what I teach all the time. And I should hope that in consciousness we start to open those doors by putting those keys in place and getting the proper reading and then finding proper relationships and having proper families and doing proper things in our society, like walking on water. Sure, why not? So, look, I forgot what I was going to name it. What was I going to name the video? I already forgot. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, it was. So, anyways, I have my glasses on because I can't see. It's the reflection that I'm trying to reduce by taking it out. Because then I'm not actually seeing the screen all the time, anyways. But yeah, that Putin joke is pretty funny, and I'm rooting for Putin. I'm rooting for Putin that he strikes the serpent in the head, as he's one of their children. He's one of their children. Yeah. Ukraine is what, the child, the bastard, the astard, that of a star. Do videos and now he's president. Oh, that's how it works. That's how democracy works. Uh-huh. Too much. Too much. Okay, I'm glad I was able to share without revealing anybody else. Nobody was harmed in the making of this video. This is for entertainment purposes only. I just have a tendency to bitch and complain, but the one truth that I do hold is that we forget the pain. We do. We soon forget the pain when it's gone. Like goodbye, we forget, I don't remember you. And we remember the good things. We remember the good times. And by remembering such a thing as good times, we find joy. We find that joy, that little drop of oil that goes into the lamp. It fills us up. Yeah, definitely fills us up. And that's the secret. Yeah, for sure. Alrighty. Take care. I look forward to the number 6 day. So I have 2 hours of anything can happen with the hand. 2 hours to play with two hands. Yeah. The right hand know not what the left hand does for a purpose. Yeah, that's so true. I do feel bad because these folks, they all work 12-hour shifts. Did you know that? Hospital people. But they only work 3 days. Then I think they're off four. Four? No. No, they work 4 days and they're off three, something like that. I think if they work 10 hours, then it turns that into their 40 into that uh, 4-3. So I think with the 12, you get the 3-4. That's pretty cool if you can handle it. Yeah, if you guys can handle it. I never had those options. Nobody ever gave me those options. 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. We own your hours. We tell you jump. I don't think so. Nope. So, anyways, take care and thank you for listening. And excuse the the gripiness of an old person who's just been thrown into a prickly pear cactus. Okay, bye.